Joining us is Gerald Celente, and here's his economic martial law top trends for 2012. And we'll do a document cam shot of that for the viewers right here in the general document cam shot area. And there it is for viewers out there. Top 12 trends, and he said this a year and a half ago. This came out before 2012, or almost 2 years ago, and said there'll be bank runs, there'll be bank holidays. That's, you know, he did a little song on air. It's a holiday. He said it would start in the Mediterranean, in Europe, and now it has. And he said when they start taking 10% or so out of bank accounts, it's big trouble. And we're actually digging up, we should have it, we've actually found it, but we're transferring it. We're actually digging up some of the times Gerald has said this. And now he's going to tell us what comes next after this. And don't forget, after he'd predicted all of this, his own private gold account got bought, a company he'd been trading with for 30 years or so. It got bought by MF Global, unbeknownst to him, and they just took his money and took billions of other people's dollars. And now they're saying 40 billion of it still hasn't been paid back, even though it's been in bankruptcy. So there's a couple billion totally stolen, and they've given some of it back, but then 40 billion total to just general creditors of MF Global itself. But he wasn't part of that. He just had a bank account they grabbed. So, and now they're calling it a tax when foreign banks, Cyprus won't even vote right now because of the bank holiday and the shutdown and the fire bombings. So now the Euro says, well, we have the power just to do it anyways. We put Mario Draghi over Italy. We put other people over Greece. We did that in Ireland. We're just going to take over. So this is the imperial banking takeover. Trends Journal head, top trends forecaster, Gerald Celente joins us right now, trendsjournal.com. Gerald, break down what this means, what we're facing, and now where you see this acceleration going.
All right, first, very important, the trend tracking tip. I write about it all the time. They always do things on the weekends, so they freeze the people out, whether reporting on news that they're obligated to report on or pulling scams like this. So after the markets close, they always do the dirty deal, whether it's a downgrade of a country's creditworthiness, releasing information about a big lie that they were covering up and are obligated to tell it about. They always do it after the markets close, after it's too late. And this way it stabilizes the markets. It gives them time to rig it during the weekend so it doesn't go down as much as it should. So again, this came out on a weekend, froze everybody out, couldn't get their dough out, number one. Number two, what you said, the white shoe boy lingo. How about calling it a tax on deposits? Isn't that a nice word? How about stealing your damn money? So they call it white shoe boy language to make it seem softer. The other thing, another beautiful term, white shoe boy language, they're giving depositors a haircut. No, they're not. They're stealing their money. So now the other thing to watch out, because this is a big picture that's unfolding. Watch the prostitutes, listen to them. Anybody could do it. It's all going to be put up in a little while. Go to CNBC. The flunkies for the money junkies. All they did was spend about 15 minutes talking about how Cyprus was a haven for money laundering for the Russian criminals.
So now the entire public deserves it because there's money laundering when the mega banks, the Federal Reserve, has been caught with over $400 billion in Wachovia and Wells Fargo banks and got in no trouble. That's Bloomberg AP. Exactly. They're going to criminalize all of us. Well, bank money's dirty. So we're taking, whether you're a fireman, a teacher, a cop, a psychologist, a farmer, an auto mechanic, all of you get 10% of your money taken because you're a gangster.
Exactly. But do you see what they're doing, though, Alex? The story's much bigger. This new prime minister they just put in Japan, the head of Japan, the president of the party, his first stop, she's first stop, Z-I, X-I is she. His first stop was to go see Putin. this is really an attack on Russia. You're talking about money laundering? Hey, anybody hear of the Grand Cayman Islands, the big grand scheme? Did anybody ever hear the HSBC money laundering scandal?
Ever heard of Switzerland? Ever heard of Luxembourg? Ever heard of Monte Carlo?
Exactly. So what did HSBC just pay? Almost $2 billion worth of fines in December for money laundering. So what they're doing is they're making this seem like a convoluted issue. The other important point, we're only talking about a $10 billion bailout here. This isn't a big one. It shows you the fragility of the entire system. The next important point, you're hearing now from the American Banking Association, from D.C., don't worry about it, Americans. Your money's insured. Yeah, just like it's insured over there in Cyprus. As a member of the Eurozone, the money's supposed to be insured for 100,000 euros, about 125,000.
But it's not insured from them stealing it.
Exactly. But here's what I believe they're going to do. When the crisis starts spreading, what they're going to do, they're going to devalue the currencies. So they're going to say, yeah, don't worry, your money's insured. But guess what? It's only worth a fraction of what it is. There's a precedent for this.
And they'll do it during the holiday. Remember you did that little holiday dance?
That's right. We're going to send you the videos of me doing that. You should be receiving them momentarily. But here's the rub. When they did it in the United States in 1933, they called a bank holiday, and they did it by devaluing the currency, because in those days, gold was pegged to the dollar. Or the dollar was pegged to gold. The dollar was pegged to gold at about $20.65 an ounce, or thereabouts. After they stole all the people's gold and made them give it back on the penalty of law, they then repegged the price of $1 to gold to $35 an ounce, which means that you lost 70% of your purchasing power. So don't worry, your money's guaranteed, you're going to get it back, but guess what, Jack? It's going to be worth a fraction of what it was before. And that's why you're seeing now, as we speak, gold prices are again moving back up, and then all of a sudden, they're again saying, hey, gold is a safe haven. No kidding.
Amazing. And they've been using naked shorting to try to drive it down while you can pull it up. George Soros, institutions, the communist Chinese government have been snatching gold as fast as they can.
Right. And now we're looking also, when you're looking at the fragility of all this, yes, you know, the GDP, the banking to GDP is 8 times that in Cyprus. It's 8 times their GDP, which is very large, and it is a banking hub and they were trying to establish themselves like a Cayman Island, like an alternative to Switzerland. But remember, their GDP is only 0.2% of the entire Eurozone. This is chump change.
Well, here's my next point. Just like you said, they had to steal a few billion of people's money to prop up all of MF Global to show the fragility and didn't get in trouble. And you said this will only encourage them now to start stealing more. This is a small bite test. They want to see if it panics things too much, they'll back off and only take maybe 5%, 7% now they're talking about. Do you agree that's what this is a trial balloon?
I definitely agree with it. I definitely agree. You know, there are two things, two stories that should ring in everybody's mind that tell you what it's all about. One, not having to do with this, but it will have to do with it later as we get closer to war, is General Dwight D. Eisenhower warning the nation that the military-industrial complex was taking it over. A 5-star general, supreme commander of the Allied forces, and for all those Republicans out there, a 2-term Republican president. The other one is the story of Jesus Christ, the Prince of Peace, becoming violent and picking up a whip to drive the money changers out of the temple. This has been going on forever. These are